Wait, what? I'm a DC hater. I hate women and Wonder Woman. A lack of depth and knowledge. I should pick up a book. Alright then. Hey, what's good fam? It's Raven your GS and welcome back to the second part of our Wonder Woman talk. First and foremost, thank you everybody who jumped in the comment section below and hit me up on my streams talking about Wonder Woman. Lots of views both on my channel and the Cyber Nerds. And like we discussed last week, we're going to be running through some of your questions, some of your comments. Some of them I agree, some of them I disagree. But yeah, apparently I'm biased. Alright, so before we get down to the nitty gritty of things, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and press the notification bell. So this week is really not much about me, but more about you, which is what this channel is all about. It's all about the fam. And don't forget, it's okay to disagree with people. It's okay to disagree with movies, comics, stories, characters. It's okay. Without getting angry, of course. All right then, so we're gonna get through our first question, and our first comment comes from DC. Shout out to DC, who's been supporting the fam. Now, DC's comment goes, I believe the guy with wings on his feet is Hermes. Yes, it is, fam. That's exactly who I was missing out on the name. Thank you very much. Love the combo with the art. Really chill concept. Wonder Woman is hard as hell in Justice League War. I wish Gal Gadot's character would have been more like the version in the first movie. The one in the upcoming film could be more like the Wonder Woman from Justice League Unlimited animated series from the Cartoon Network. Super powerful, super confident, yet not as hard because she had adjusted to being around humans. Keep up the great work, fam. Looking forward to part 2. Now, first things first. Thank you very much, DC. Appreciate the support and for the comment, man. Yeah, I mean, and this is, you know what? This is one of the things I always say that I was just having the chat with the boys the other day, and I was saying to them, look, unless there's a massive threat to Earth and Wonder Woman needs to be present with the Justice League, I don't think she should be around humans. In my eyes, in my opinion, you know, she should be around humans because, like you said, you end up dumbing down her powers because she's so OP. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's my standard, my view as well. Like, to me, if we're gonna run these stories with her, and even if she's like amongst humans, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's put her in a place where there is more gods around her. Now, one particular series that I think would be very, very suitable for her, if you guys remember Xena Warrior, the series from back in the day, that exact setting would be perfect for her. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you're amongst humans, but there is gods involved. Gods are walking among us. If you have something like Xena Warrior, only with Wonder Woman, plus remember, Xena Warrior had a little blonde friend, and Hercules came through as well. So like, now you don't even need this Steve dude. You know what I'm saying? To me, Steve is the best thing in the Wonder Woman movie, the first one. In the comics, I can't stand the guy. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just like, it's just a forced character. You know what I mean? Like, oh, because maybe, I don't know, maybe because Clark Kent has Lois. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man has Gwen. Well, let me not bring in Marvel into this before the DC fans, you know what I'm saying, like, come up my neck. But you get the gist, you know what I'm saying? So, like, so to me, like, yo, if you want to make a romance out of things, why don't you bring Hercules? And now that could be a sick love story, because, like, Hercules is Zeus' son. So if they find out, it's like, raw, we can't be together. So now these two are tied in this love affair that they can't even be with each other. That is pure storytelling, fam. Now on to the next comment comes from Mark Jedi Hamill. Shout out to you, Mark. And his comment goes, love the way you build up your drawings. Totally agree with you with the Wonder Woman 84 trailer. Wonder Woman has a massive potential to be great and they are not capitalizing on it. Appreciate that, fam. He goes on saying, what's your favorite comic book character you haven't seen on the big screens and would like to see? Right, so, favorite comic book character I would like to see in the movies. DC has done Aquaman and they've done Shazam. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm gonna keep DC, I would love DC to do something similar to the Joker, but with Black Adam. You know what I'm saying? When he was first chosen to liberate his people. I think that would be such a sick movie and story with great action. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it, like, he was just trying to liberate his people and he just gets lost in his ways. Like, so imagine, like, I don't think I haven't come across much Black Adam history, although I have the omnibus for the whole Shazam since the first issue. I haven't really read much or a lot or everything that there is on Black Adam, but from my knowledge, it would be such a cool thing to see Black Adam starting as a hero and ending up, you know, as a villain. I think that's something that, one, we haven't really seen. Two, he also goes with that Batman line that says, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Like, fam, that is it. Like, that would be it for Black Adam. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get to delve in more on the whole foundation of Shazam itself. So that would be it for me. That would be everything. The next comment comes from my first ever Patreon. Shout out to Heather. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. And her comment goes, another great video. Thank you. What are your top Wonder Woman comics or graphic novels you would recommend? The New 52 Wonder Woman, it's a story based on her relationship with her family. So she's in between two places, as a matter of fact, three places. Themyscira, Earth, and the skies, well, where the gods live. This is my favorite Wonder Woman comic run. Simply because it's just, to me, it just feels like true to the sense of who she is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to powers, when it comes to pure relationships, and it's actually challenging for her. Like, what kind of challenge can gods, okay, like, she's a demigod, she's like half a god, but what kind of challenges can she really go through to overcome and become the best she can be amongst humans? You know what I mean? Like, it's when we're talking about humans and gods, there's a huge separation between those two, even if you're in between. You know what I mean? So I absolutely love this issue. It's one of my favorites. Both, like, one of my favorite DCs, whether it's DC or hers. But yeah, man, that's the one I would go for. And if you kind of read that, then I guess you kind of would understand a bit more where I'm coming from when it comes to the Wonder Woman movie. But now, on to the next one. Enigmatus 5. Thank you for your question, fam. And his question is, if you could choose a Wonder Woman comic to take into a live action movie, what would you take? You know what? I would take Wonder Woman God of War. Like, that in itself, I mean, you could tell the most beautiful story, but at the same time, you wouldn't have to dumb down the powers. So, like, there is this phase in New 52, spoilers, where she kills her uncle, the god of war, Ares. And because, once you kill a god, you have to, there's got to be a replacement, So if you kill the god, you end up fulfilling that particular god's role. So to me, it would be amazing to see her filling those shoes, because now it's like you have to keep the balance, and at the same time you cannot deny men's nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, men love, men hate, men, create, but men also like are destructive in it. So now we would all have to see Wonder Woman in a different light, where she's embracing both, but at the same time she's being herself because who she is. You'd have to, I don't know, you might have to bring Brian Azzarello to write your script or something, fam. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think it'd be challenging, a challenging story to tell. But if DC's team could pull this through, this would be amazing. Even if it doesn't have to be a live action movie, it can be a series. Fam, just a series, like boom. Like, I know I keep going on about this, but Xena the Warrior is the closest thing we have to like a good Wonder Woman series in it. So like, fam, why not turn that into a Wonder Woman series? Boom, we're good. All right, so the next one is from Israel Pink. Shout out to you, Israel. So his comment goes, why the slow motion action scenes the problem? When Marvel do it with Deadpool, X-Men, and Disney Marvel movies, nobody ever mentions it. But when DC do it in Wonder Woman, it's a problem. Let's break this one down, right? So when it comes to Marvel and DC, in my eyes, Marvel are superheroes, human superheroes with powers. They are still human, right? Like, they're just, again, mutants. DC are gods playing heroes. You know what I'm saying? That line in itself you should be able to understand that there's a massive separation between both companies. Deadpool's slow motion fits because it takes the piss. You know what I'm saying? Like, Deadpool is an extreme character. Everything he does is an extreme. His kills are extreme. What he says is extreme. So slowing down so you can see all the details of the extreme things that he's doing makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Plus he's got the silly music to go with it. Like, that is part of his banter. That is part of who he is. You know what I'm saying? Now, X-Men, who do we see slow motion? Quicksilver. Now, it makes sense for Quicksilver to be slow because he's going that fast. He's not going slow. We're that slow. It's just that through his eyes, that's what we're seeing. Now, Wonder Woman. Let's use Man of Steel, for example. Yeah? Fiora, right? Notice the battle scene in Smallville. Now, what you have there is a perfect battle scene showcasing powers, right? Now, another great example I can give you is if you watch anime, like during a fighting scene, you see the pre-move, so it shows you like what the character's intending to do, and then you don't see anything else but the hit. You know what I'm saying? So it's so we have an idea, oh, this person's about to do this, then bang, like it's hit. So you miss completely what's in between the whole movement. So you don't have A, B, and C, like A being the pre-punch, B being the middle from A to hit the character, and C is the impact. You completely miss B and you go straight from A to C. That shows impact. That shows power. You know what I'm saying? So from time, you're seeing her doing slow motions, fam. To me, it takes away her speed, her power, how fast she's going. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about being DC. It's just Wonder Woman. to me, it doesn't go with it. It is better if she moves more like Fiora. All right, on to the next one. Roger Black, thank you very much for your comment, fam. And Roger says, Wonder Woman riding the lightning bolt is directly from the comics. So is the golden armor. Patty Jenkins was staying true to the source material. Nicely done. Now, at no point any of us dispute source materials in whether it's on our reactions or our views. Listen, anyone can just grab a book, pull up a couple of stuff from it and put in a movie. That is not the problem. That's at least not in my eyes. My problem is execution. You gotta execute Wonder Woman in a way where it's just like, you know, it just shows a ferocity. It just shows everything that's great about this character. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people seem to like it. So clearly, Patty Jenkins and the team, they're doing something right, because a lot of these people love, you know, these scenes. Now, the golden armor bit, when it comes up on, in the trailer, I was so underwhelmed. Why? Because soon as she gets rid of the wings, what does she do? She does the X move again. How many times are we going to see this move? Now, you've put her in the armor, in the suit that we haven't seen in the big screens, and you don't even make it epic. Again, this is only on the trailer. I don't know how accurate it's going to be in the movies. I can only talk about the trailers because that's what I've seen. And that is where the problem lies. All right, now this is a spicy one, and it's kind of a long one, so bear with me. So this was from Watchtower Reviews, and you can tell by the name already, you know, Watchtower. You know, we both know what time it is, you know. It's actually quite funny because when it comes to like DC fandom, like you guys are pretty, you know, you guys are pretty intense. Like I don't know what it is about it. But those who are really like, not that I'm not like, I love DC as much as I love Marvel, but like you guys are like really intense, man. Especially if someone critiques or doesn't agree, you are pretty intense about it, man. So remember, man, it's always good to have a dialogue, have an opinions, but you know, keep it nice and checked. So so let me break it down. So I'm just gonna read it and then kind of like break it down, right? So Watchtower says, yeah, it is weird that Wonder Woman movie was one of the best DC movies in a long time. And it's great if you read the comics. Well, fam, man reads the comics. And as a fan, it's just amazing. Everything they talk about after can be answered. The whole Steve thing and many things. It's great to put the trailers, like it really makes me want to go and see the movie to know how and why he's back. I want to know why he's back too. You know what I'm saying? Second, the slow-mo in some scenes over the top. But a lot of other movies do it too, and the slide, well, it makes you faster and kicks a guy to the ground fast. Why not use it? Well, here's the thing. How many times are we going to see that move? The problem is not the slide. I mean, we joke about the slide tackle because, God, how many times are we going to see the slide tackle, fam? Don't you have any moves? Like, all this time you was in Themyscira, you only learned one slide tackle move? Again, listen, it might sound like we're being arseholes, but I'm just keeping it back with you, man. Like, there's only so many times you can do something repetitively without, you know, someone picking up on it. And we're the kind of guys that pick up on things, you know. And the sword, she does not need it. I like it. It was cool, the first movie, but most of the time she used the lasso. Yeah, like, I mean, I think it was cool that they had the sword, but I like the fact that they didn't show it in this trailer, and I hope that's not going to be something they pretty much use it because, yeah, like, I agree. A lasso is a main weapon, and I'd rather use a fist than a sword. And the lightning bolt thing is just to get somewhere faster. Facepalm. And she's the daughter of Zeus, so it would be normal she can summon lightning. And use it that way, the city lasso can be, again, lightning or even invisible jet. I mean, we'll see it. I mean, that is, I think this is my favorite part of your comment, because like, yeah, like, why, if you're a daughter of Zeus, god of thunder, why wouldn't you, take advantage of that? You know what I'm saying? So I completely agree with you. I think that's a pretty cool thing. I hope that's what it is. I mean, a lot of people said that was Invisible Jet. If it's an Invisible Jet, fam, that's dead because, like you just explained, Zeus is your father. Summon the thunder and make use of it. Now you're tapping into your godly powers, and that is what I am here for. Next comment comes from Carlos. Thank you, Carlos, for your comment. Carlos says, no, no, no. The slow motion action is Wonder Woman vision. It's how she sees action. Now, that is cool. Like, I can appreciate if that's how you see the world. Again, execution, execution, execution. They are also very repetitive. This is a no-go, fam. Like, I understand what you're saying, but this is not an excuse. If that's what you want us to see, if that's the feel you kind of have to go back to the drawing board and get your storyboard correct, fam, because this is a poor execution. You're just relying on slow motion and repetitive moves for everybody to buy it. Maybe everybody buys it. So it seems like it. Me personally, I don't buy it. I don't think it's a good execution. I don't think it showcases where what she's capable of. Even if she's not at a full best yet, it's not good enough. It's not good enough because she's been practicing since she was a kid. You see it in the movie. She was rebelling against her mother, trading behind her back. Fam, give me other moves. And if you're going to do a slow motion, show the slow motion with a vision where she is peeping what's going on around her while she's fighting. For example, she is fighting against 5 guys at the same time. Cool. While she's engaging with 2, you can show a vision, a slow motion part where she's peeping where the other 2, 3 guys are at so she can make her next move. That is pure movie making, fam. Alright, on to the next one. Spicy again, spicy. I love these long comments, So, Irish 2541 says, when you are a hardcore fan, you have specific expectations that sometimes can make you experience less enjoyable because there are things you want to see. As a casual fan, not too knowledgeable of the comics, I actually really enjoy the trailer. It is like fun to me. I think the comparison to Black Widow can be misleading because these are completely different characters. You won't see people dress up like Black Widow as much or feel a strong sense of relation to a character as Wonder Woman inspires because of what she is. Wonder Woman is more of a generic female superhero that everyone can relate to and also calls for a different type of arc and story, which is why she's always at the center of a particular moment in human history, World War One or the Cold War. I think the director and Gal Gadot made her character work in the first film, which is why it's so successful. It's as simple as that. The movie Black Widow comes after a character is established. In Wonder Woman, they are still establishing her character. Now, so much pepper in this comment because I just see stuff like this here, comments like this. I absolutely love it. Like, fam, you have your way of seeing things. You come from a different, perspective or less of a fan. Nevertheless, you can still see things for what they are and build a good rapport with the movie. I absolutely love it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's pick up a couple of things that I agree and disagree. Previous to the Wonder Woman, the new trailer, we already had spoken about the Black Widow trailer because it came out a week earlier. And we said that we wonder how Wonder Woman trailer is going to be because this one came out. Now, if we've been around long enough, it always feels that DC is reacting to Marvel's success. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just our opinion. This is just the way we see it. We might be right. We might be wrong. Hey, not everybody's right in this world, right? So it always feels that DC is reacting to Marvel. Now, that said, this is where this whole Black Widow conversation comes in. Me personally, I would never, ever, ever compare Black Widow to Wonder Woman. One, I would personally feel I'm disrespecting Wonder Woman because that's how much I love her. Two, fam, if I'm going to pick between Wonder Woman and Black Widow, fam, I'm gonna go with Wonder Woman. I couldn't care less about Black Widow. As a matter of fact, I have never read a comic book from Black Widow. All I know from Black Widow is the Marvel movies. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, I would never compare those two. Now, the director, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot have taken with this character, fam, there is nothing wrong with it. You have a vision, you want to execute it, by all means do it. And guess what? He's been successful. You know what I'm saying? No one can take that away from these two. You know what I'm saying? And the whole WBDC team. You know what I'm saying? You guys done a great job. Clearly a lot of people like the movie. It just happens that I'm on the other side. That's all. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool because the same way I can have an opinion. I can disagree with something. I can agree and disagree with something. The same way these two are allowed to have their visions. The same way I have my vision for a Wonder Woman movie, for the way Wonder Woman should be. The same way they have their vision. The same way Brian Azzarello and other writers have their vision. And here's another thing as well. Disagreeing with something doesn't mean it's bad. Most times it can be feedback. And guess what? A lot of these writers, producers, directors, they watch channels. Trust me, they watch, like a lot of them also watch the Cybernerds. And please believe, some of these things that people may like, but if they hear it, a critique on something, it may actually make them think about something and be like, you know what? Next time we're going to make it better. Those guys are onto something. It happens. And this is how you make something great. Like, imagine if we all just agreed all the time. Nothing would really progress. You know what I'm saying? So, it's good to disagree. It's good to have different visions because sometimes that is just fuel and feedback for the creators. Simples. The next one is from Bradley Ferries. And he says, how did you like Batman v Superman more than Wonder Woman? Why do you get mad at the smallest things? Example, leg slide. And how can you be so sour about this trailer? I think that because we're so positive, you know, the cyber nerds, you know, we're always like, we're like, you know, we really like getting to the sweat and we nerd down, we jump up and down when we see something that we love, we see something that we agree with. But when we don't, people just think we're sour or that we've already made up our minds or we're just being negative. I don't know. People just don't like us being negative, which is a good thing. That's a good feedback. That's a good feedback, you know what I'm saying? But me personally, I guess he took this from the other comments from the other nerds. Me personally, I don't think Batman v Superman is a great movie. Like, I'll take one or two scenes that I absolutely love it. Everything else, I just don't agree with it. As a matter of fact, I don't even agree them doing the Batman v Superman movie before the sequel of Man of Steel. Like DC, when these movies were coming out, DC were like in this weird place because to me, Man of Steel is a great movie. I love it. I love it. But it got such a backlash that these men reacted to it. And this goes back to this whole fiasco, and this is why there's such a huge separation within the DC movies. There's like a massive segregation between these movies because it's like, if either you really love it or you really hate it, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, no, I hate it, or some people like, no, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. I love this movie, this is the greatest movie. So DC just really in this really weird place when it comes to their movies. And you know what? There's a couple of things that I like in Wonder Woman movie. And there's a lot of things that I really dislike. And I think this is where I become emotionally compromised. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not being toxic or anything towards the movie. If anything, I am thankful this movie's here. I bought the Blu-ray, so I'm still supporting DC regardless of my views. I'm still supporting the cast and the director and all the staff, because I'm still supporting. I'm just because I have my views and I may disagree with a couple of things, I am still supporting them because I'm thankful that you guys put this here for us. You know what I'm saying? So with the Wonder Woman, I love the way Themyscira looks. I love how the 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 warriors are like, but I really dislike the way they went down in the beach fight without showcasing what they're really capable of. Like, yeah, there was gonna be deaths, but before that, we need to see these warriors doing a lot more damage. You're telling me that all this time you've been practicing, right? Your whole life, you're warriors. Like you have one goal only. Be the warriors, protect the humans. When Judgment Day comes, we are ready to protect Earth. That is what they're here for. They fought some mere soldiers, fam. Come on, like these warriors live between Earth and the gods. Where did we showcase that? I feel that's a massive fail for me in this movie, and it's a huge thing because I love these warriors, man. I love the way they go in. I love how Princess Diana was introduced to the world. The whole ferry ride from an island with Steve. I think that whole conversation was so peak, and the way when she comes into the city and she's so friendly because she's not used to the world of men. You know what I'm saying? So I love the way I love when things like when she was talking to the secretary and she's like, oh, I just do everything he does. And it's like, well, that's like slavery, fam. Like, that's a real fam. That's smart. That's witty. That's cool, fam. I love that. But then, like, there's parts where you kind of like bring down some of the characters. So, for example, the characters, the soldiers, Steve recruits for them to go on this mission, but then everybody else is like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, it's almost like you make them feel less to big up the other character. That to me is poor, like almost lazy, because it's like everybody has faults, even Diana has faults, but the way you make each other stronger is by showing everybody's weaknesses, but then like showcasing everybody's strengths as well. So for example, there's the bit where, okay, the guy is having a nightmare and he's frantic and he's panicking. He's like, yo, get off me, like, don't talk to me. But then there's a time when it comes for him to shoot and he can't do it anymore. And he's like, well, like, you really make, so why is that character here? Why is he here if he's not going to do anything? He's not going to bring any value. You just brought him here to show his weakness so we can big up Wonder Woman. That to me is dead. So, and to me it's kind of like disrespectful, because like, oh, you can only be great if this one's weaker. No, that's not how things work. Everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses, but you got to showcase it balanced, not just big up one and diminish the other one. That's dead, fam. And he's not even getting mad. And last but not least, he's not even getting mad at the smallest things. Well, we love movies. We love Wonder Woman. So, yeah, like, sometimes it's part of the gift and the curse. Like, if you're really into something, you're going to pick up the little bits. Like, and sometimes the little bits can be like, it can be huge for someone. It can be explosive. It can be like, yeah, man, like, did you see that? They put that little thing, even though it's a half a second, but we know what it is. Or it can be the slightest little thing and you'd be like, oh, that is trash. Fam, that's just how it goes, man. With us, it can be little positively or negatively, we're going to go in. And guess what? We're never sour about trailers, because otherwise, if we were sour, why would we want to be here anyway? Okay, last but not least, this is the last comment and comes from Michael Kent. Appreciate you, the comment, Michael. And Michael says, in your discussion, all of you talked about action scenes and now the surface looked like, even for the first Wonder Woman movie. The Wonder Woman movies has always been about the story plot or emotions. They focus a lot on telling the story of Wonder Woman, who she is, and the lives. 100% comic book accurate. You guys are probably like some of the moviegoers who go to the theater to watch big jaw-dropping action films, just like with all those MCU movies has done and achieved. which is why MCU got such huge fandom. But guys like me are comic book fixation, who love the characters itself and want to see their story development adopted in the big screen. I guess since they focused too much on telling her story that they didn't focus on making enough action in it, which has caused them to lose some of the actual moviegoers like yourselves and suffered box office wise. I would say the first Wonder Woman movie used a lot of slow motion and also didn't have big amazing action scenes due to the first fact that Wonder Woman has not discovered the reach of full powers yet in the first one, and also the lack of funding because WB were afraid Wonder Woman would fail terribly, so they downgraded her powers enormously. But I really like how they did and doing with her character development about who she is instead of the fighting scenes. Now, I love this comment. Clearly, Michael, you put some really, good thought behind this, and you have some sort of knowledge, which is really appreciated. And again, this is what this is all about. Like, when we start having conversations, when we open this conversation book and we just start going back and forth, it helps one another understand and kind of like broaden up our minds. So with me, it's not just about what I think. I always love to hear what other people think, because then like it can balance out my thoughts. And sometimes like I'm wrong, like the same times you're wrong and everybody else. But when you start putting different perspectives, it kind of like helps us with understanding and stuff like that. And it just makes our experience better. So I appreciate this comment. Now, with that said, I'm actually a huge storytelling person. I really love it, and that's when the first thing I look forward in a comic book is story. Like, that is the number one thing. Like, story first, visuals later. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like, although, okay, I get it. I mean, if it's actual, a fact that, the lack of fun. And again, WB, they were in such a funny place because, the previous movies and, they had the backlash. And obviously, they was riding a lot on this movie, especially for being the first female superhero, like in a big, massive way. So obviously risks were taken into consideration. But funding, whether the funding was low or not, when it comes to execution, you don't really need money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Wonder Woman, especially for the type of Wonder Woman movie they gave, it's not like they put a lot of powers and she was going against gods and stuff like that. Besides her uncle, everything you could have just kept it practical. Keep it practical. You know what I'm saying? And like, if there's a lack of funding, I mean, I don't know how much you paid Gal Gadot, but obviously Gal Gadot was an upcoming actress, so I'm not sure if that went into the budget, So like, you're paying a big, because obviously an image will help sell the movie, so you kind of like, you pay a big and you kind of like dim it down on everything else. I don't know, but if that's the case, then risk, because yeah, it's a good play. I mean, yeah, we're gonna pay Gal Gadot a bit more and cut down on other stuff, but her face will sell the movie. I mean, that's a good strategy. Can't argue with that. Or you can just be like, maybe pay someone else less and go with someone else and kind of like put the money a bit more into other parts of the movie. I mean, we don't know, but clearly what they've done is successful because the movie is done quite big box office wise. Just make your own art. Like, it'd be pointless for me to go watch a DC movie that's like the MCU. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, why would I wanna waste my time and watch two movies that are the same? No. Plus, Wonder Woman, she's a god. MCU, they enhance powers. Like, there's a huge difference. So no, I would never want to see movie like that, and I'm not fixated in just the action. I just want a really good movie. Alright, well, this is it, man. It's been a great video. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's been fun going through some of your comments and questions. Keep them coming. Look, keep the conversation going. This is what it's all about, like being a fan of something. Like if you're passionate about something, let it out, man. Let's go in on the topics every week. Feel free to share your drawings with me, which I shall be sharing them on my videos. Also, a massive shout out to my Patreons. I can't believe this, but we're finally there. So thank you very much, fam. And guys, don't forget, if you love what I'm doing, if you want to show support, by all means, head over to patreon.com/Geek Sensei. And I believe by next week, I shall have my first patron requested drawing. Other than that, thank you for locking in. Jump in the comment section below. Go in, as usual, as always. And don't forget to live your truth. Peace.